Hands on the hood.
Hi, welcome to Interrogation. Comedians tell their own true crime stories, then we get to ask them questions about it after. The audience at this show can even text in their own crimes anonymously, and we read those live on stage. Come on, I told you, man, he's my dog.
All right, guys, so we're going to keep this show moving along. You guys ready for your next criminal? Come on, guys. Enthusiasm, enthusiasm, enthusiasm. So funny. Everybody give all your love and energy to Katie Bowman.
I grew up in Dallas, Texas. I know. And, is someone from there? Did someone say? Oh, San Antonio. That's probably better. Dallas is like a pharmacy. It's terrible. And it's funny. I was a really bad kid growing up. Have you guys seen the show Euphoria? Yeah. That was like my life as a teenager. And I thought that was normal. I thought all kids party like that until I got to college and all my friends were like, no, this is my first year ever having a beer. And I'm like, oh man, my first beer was when I was 13. What are you talking about? The only thing I didn't do was heroin. But like my friends did, I was like kind of like the mom, kind of like the mom for the group, if you will. Just taking care of everyone, and it's really crazy because growing up there, I remember the first time I ever did anything. It was like all at once. One night we went to my friend's house and stayed over and snuck out to a party, and I did weed, smoked cigarettes, and got drunk, and had my first kiss all in one night. All right? Yes. I guess you could say I'm an easy date. And like at that party, I remember like walking into a bathroom and there was a guy like leaned over the sink, and I was just so confident. I was like, I don't care that you're in here. I'm gonna pee. And I sat down on the toilet, like horse piss, like into the toilet, and I'm laughing. I'm cracking myself up because I'm a teenager that's fucked up. And I look over at the sink, and the guy is shooting up heroin. I know. And he goes, that's why you should knock. So ever since then, I've always knocked. I know. I was like, my bad. And after that, it was just like full throttle friends. Like we all thought we were like so cool, so mature, and we were partying all the time, me and my girlfriends, and we would hang out with like all these older men. And that was like super in the early 2000s, I mean, ask Dane Cook, he knows. And you look back on it and you're like, why was I 13 in the back of like a 30-year-old's car drinking a 40 ounce? Like that is crazy. And I remember I had a crush on a guy that was at least like 6 years older than me, and his sister was my friend who was my age, and we would hang out all the time. And like I feel like nobody really talks about like how horny you are as a young kid. I'm not like a pedophile, okay? Like you guys are getting tight on me. Like I swear to God, and girls actually develop before men, okay? So we were getting ours way earlier on the sofa or whatever, toothbrush, whatever you were using. And no one talks about it. And like, I mean, there is this part of you where like you think since you're drinking and you're smoking weed at that age that you're like, I'm just way more mature than these people I'm going to school with. But it's not true. You're just getting drugs on the brain while it's still developing. And I had this huge crush on this guy, and he would flirt with me. And I remember one time we were hanging out in the back of his car, his friend's car, and he was driving us. We were in the trunk, and I was like, we were in the trunk of his car. It was a Ford Escape, okay? And I'm like, we're hooking up. I'm putting my hands in his pants, and I'm like trying to get him off, but he's like flaccid. And I'm like, in retrospect, I'm like, oh, maybe he's just not into minors, like he was just trying to, he was like, I could go to jail. And so we would hang out with them all the time though. And there definitely was this like chemistry between me and this guy. And we would go to her apartment complex when her mom was working. Her mom was a nurse, so she would work in the ER, like work doubles. And we would just have the whole apartment to ourselves. And we just thought we were so mature. We were drinking, doing all these things. And one night we all go down to the pool, and we're drinking and smoking weed around the pool. And one of my friends just gets like a little more hammered than everyone else. I mean, as you do as a teenager, you have no idea what you're doing. You know, I remember I would go into my parents' liquor cabinet, get a water bottle, and just fill up a little bit of each bottle in the water bottle. And so, I mean, that's what we're drinking. We're smoking weed. You know, my friend is like, she's pretty fucked up. And we're like holding her up. And then all of a sudden we hear a cop just like, hey! And we were like, oh shit. So we like throw everything into the bushes, and we're all like, oh no, no. And the cop is like, stay right there. I know what you're doing. They love to like say that even if you're not doing anything, you know? And he's like, I know what you're doing. Stay right there. And he lines us all up. And one of my friends was born without he just has a physical disability. He was born without a forearm. And so we're all lined up, and this cop literally looks at my friend and is like, sir, do you really not have an arm, or is that your arm behind your back? And my friend literally is like, no, sir, I don't have an arm. And so he lines us up. He starts going through all our stuff, and he pulls my friend, who's the most fucked up, out in front of all of us. And he's like, you're definitely not sober. And she's like, no, I'm not. Just like too honest. And he's like going through her bag, and he's like looking for it. Luckily, I don't think we did have a bowl on us, but we threw it in the bushes. So he's like going through her bag being like, well, where is it? Where's the pot? Where's the grass? You know, he's like going through it, and she literally says, it was just a joint. And he was like, oh, a joint? How big was it? And she was like, it was just a little baby joint. And we're all like, no, dude, like, what are you saying? And he then like can't find anything, so he tells us all to call our parents and have them come pick us up. And so all of our parents come and get us, and none of us got taken away because that's white privilege. And that's my story. Thank you so much.
I mean, that was the worst thing that happened to you when you were younger, huh?
Yeah. Growing up in Dallas, yes.
Growing up in Dallas, do you think that had
Well,
anything
I
to
mean,
do
there
with
was another thing that happened to me, but it would not be a good story.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, you got to go with the fun ones, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
But that was like, I mean, from an early age, pivotal moment for you, something you remember for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Very fun.
Absolutely. That's like one of the ones where I got caught, you know, like with a cop, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're here for, is like a cop story. I was actually pretty good at hiding my drug use as a kid.
Pretty good. That's a life skill right there.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
But now I'm a very light sleeper. I'm always like, who's going through my shit, you know?
But also with the jacket, you're like, I'm not hiding it anymore. I just like to do drugs.
Yes.
Yeah, I got shrooms on me right now.
Yeah. They're inside of me.
Yeah. Which orifice? No. I like that you were in a trunk of a Ford Escape, because that's definitely what you should have done, is escape. You know what I mean? That's. Yeah.
I know. And I'm like, give me that dick instead, because you know. When you're are there any girls in? Yeah, there's one. Okay, when you were 13.
Are there any girls in here?
When you were 13, ladies, clap your hands. How many times did you have a crush on like a 35-year-old famous man? Right? Yes.
Did you?
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait. No.
Talk about it now.
Like, sorry,
We'd love to hear.
Share with the class.
I'm like, make me feel better about myself right now.
Who did you have a crush on? Who was it? Whoa.
Whoa.
Hell yeah. I'm hard right now. Keep talking.
I was about to say, he's probably gay, for sure. Yeah.
The old switcheroo. But this was somebody you knew? Okay, it wasn't like a fantasy kind of like a celebrity crush. It wasn't like that. It was... Okay, nice. Yeah, fun. I don't know why everybody clammed up on Katie when she said, I was a horny teenager, and y'all were like, gross. That's not.
Like, what is this?
You were all horny teenagers.
Yeah, you were all horny.
I know we're close to Castle Rock, but nobody here is that nice. You know what I mean? Like, nobody here.
I remember being horny before I even like had known what sex was. Like, I would just be like reading a book and be like, "Oh my god, that roller coaster's so high right now!" Like,
my trigger word is scapegoat. So, did you never stayed in contact with the dude or anything, like long term? Right?
Kind of. I always thought he was actually queer, and I was like, maybe he really just is it. Because I mean, let's be honest. Like at that time frame, I feel like it was very normal for like people within a 6-year radius to date each other. Like
it was, yeah, no, yeah, because we're both millennials. You
yes,
know what I mean? When I was growing up, girls my age would date people 6 years
yes,
older
that's
than
exactly
all
how
the time.
we were. That's exactly. And I remember I brought like one of my boyfriends to see Superbad when it was like the last year of high school, and he was like 24 years old and like 6'7", and my friends were like, "Oh my god, it's the giant from Big Fish! What the fuck?" Like, they were like, "That's who she's having sex with right now." Like,
good for you. Yeah. Any questions for Katie? Any questions? No, everybody's pretty cut and dry.
No questions.
Come on, a little curiosity. Never heard anybody.
Oh yeah, we would pile. Well, I always. That's the thing is like I feel like I had always like 7 women around me at all times. We were all just like trying to keep each other safe, you know. Yeah. And another really big thing was like no dudes allowed at the party, just girls. So it's like, oh yeah, well, you roll deep, we got that. So like we would get picked up by these guys, and they would just pile like 7 women into the car. We're like sitting on each other's laps, sitting in the trunk, you know. Yeah. There you go.
In the trunk or like in the back part?
Back part and the trunk. A Ford Escape, you can like sit like 3 teenagers in a Ford Escape.
Yeah, how many? All right,
in the trunk?
This is like a redneck math problem.
I know. Was like one of you on top?
3 drunk
It was
college
very
students
common
show up
to not
a high
wear
school party. How many teenagers can you fit in the back of a Ford Escape, and how long does it take you to get to Cincinnati? Like that's.
I'm like really shocked that not everyone drove in the parts of the car without seatbelts.
I just also.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
When in Dallas.
When in
yes,
Dallas.
That's right.
When
in Dallas.
When in
Shame
Dallas.
on the rest of you for being judgmental, okay?
All right.
You haven't been to Dallas, clearly.
You
all
don't
right?
know what it's like growing up there.
It's America's team. Okay.
It wasn't like I thought everyone drinks and drives. Like I was like, that is the norm in Texas.
Yeah.
And then I came here and people were like, oh shit, no, you'll get a DUI like real quick.
But honestly, this is the safest place to do it. The police here don't do shit. Do you see how many people drive around without license plates? Fuck them. All right, like that's not.
It is.
Oh, I'm
shocking.
drinking and driving. Well, fuck you. All right, it's like.
The expired plates. Everything.
Don't take that advice if you're brown. All right, I just want y'all.
I know. I was like,
man, it's not.
All right, we got time for one more question. I think we had another one from somebody. Anybody?
You mentioned that you haven't gotten caught for any of your other use. Like, what are your tips? What have you done?
To not get caught.
Okay, here's some. This is a crazy reveal, but it was in the past. So and hey.
I
love this.
So delicately, you're like, it was.
But you can take you can take a melatonin bottle of melatonin capsules and empty it out and fill it with a bunch of Molly capsules, and it looks just like melatonin.
What?
That's pretty good.
I know, it's pretty.
Well, that's great advice because usually I just put the
I know
straight
people are
crystals
like,
into
I'm
the
really tired.
melatonin bottle, and they get
I
me
just
every
love someone
time.
accidentally takes a melatonin.
Which is funny that you're putting it in a melatonin bottle because it's the opposite.
I know. Keeps you up, baby.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, oh yeah, that's not gonna put you to bed.
What's some text messages?
All right, let's do a couple texts. One of the reasons I love doing the text messages is the juxtaposition between something very innocent and then something way worse. As a little boy, I went with my mother. It's prefaced that way. As a little boy, I went with my mother to Long's drugstore. While walking around the store, there was a huge bin full of penny candies. I took one, and on our way out, I was stopped by security, asking me if I was going to pay for the candy. Wow. Somebody's been a naughty boy.
I used to do that, and I'd be like, I thought they were samples.
Yeah, exactly. I still do that at Whole Foods. Like
The bulk section. I'm like
The bulk
mixing the
section.
bulks.
Yeah.
I'm like, we can make our own trail mix here,
right.
okay?
Amazon owns us now. All right, you guys.
they don't need a couple pecans.
Yes.
What am I? And then conversely, I got arrested in my bikini for underage drinking on my 19th birthday. Got taken to the clank tank, and my parents had to pick me up the next day in my bikini. Talk about a walk of shame. Yeah.
Cold. That feels like cold. Like
They didn't
on
give
your
you a
body.
T-shirt?
I don't know. I was assuming this was a girl. Was this a
No,
guy?
this
Yeah,
wasn't the same
bikini.
guy. No,
I
this
mean,
wasn't-
yeah, anyone can wear a bikini.
Yeah, no, actually, that's great. You were like, I assume
Anyone
it's a
can
man.
wear your
How progressive. That's so great.
Yes.
Who was this? Yeah, just I wanna talk to you.
Anybody?
Is it you? I don't know. People are pointing at you.
Yeah, it's all right. What color was the
It was
bikini?
you, right? You're the one pointing. Oh, okay.
No, it's all right. It's okay.
I'm like, I do that all the time. Just kidding.
I love that, especially if you got arrested in a bikini, you had to do a walk of shame, and you didn't
That's
get
cool as
laid.
hell.
That's even worse. You're like,
Yeah.
I just got fucked by the judicial system, like that. That was it.
Oh,
wow, wait.
Yes,
Hold on. There's two things happening here. I appreciate that we have somebody to talk to, but also, don't be a fucking narc. Okay? If she wants to admit to it, she can. All right? That's
Just because you guys are wearing the same outfit doesn't mean you can just like point her out.
yeah.
Right? That's fun. Did you like fight somebody? You know what I mean? Because you had to establish yourself.
Yeah.
on
What
the
led to
yard,
the arrest?
you
What
know?
led to the arrest?
It was my birthday party. It was like a luau theme. They call it. These are my parents.
Oh, your dad's the one that doesn't want to see my ass, man.
Yeah. Sounds like
Your
he's
daughter had her ass out for the whole precinct.
yeah.
Were you guys like pissed or were you like laughing at her? Oh yeah. See, this is why I can't be a
Been there,
parent. If I had to pick,
Yeah,
I had
wait
to
a minute.
pick
Are we
my
still
kid
talking
up,
about her ass? I don't know.
Yo.
I know. I was like, what point of the story were we in
I
there?
know.
Oh shit! All right, guys, give it up for Katie Bowman.
Thank
Everybody.
you.